Hello trancefix.nl, I'm Robbie Nelson. How you doing? Yeah, well, me and Chris are we lived in towns that were pretty close together, and Chris was sort of producing music at the same time as I was producing music, and we were like the only two people in Ireland at the time that were really into the similar styles of music. So Chris had actually produced a track for a local club, and he had came up with a few of his friends to my studio, and he didn't actually realise what we were doing at the time. So he heard what the sort of style that we were doing, and we decided to do a remix for Chris's track that he was doing for this club. The club, it's actually a pretty famous club in Ireland now. It's called Lush, and the track was called Lush Gold. Well, I did the remix for that, and then afterwards we sort of decided to do a few tunes together, and hey presto, the first tune we came off with was El Nino, and it was massive, and we decided, well, let's go for it, you know. First of all, it felt absolutely brilliant because it was something that me personally had been striving for a number of years before that, you know. So whenever the phone started ringing, I'll never forget it. Like, I had people, like, at the time, my sort of labels that I was trying to get in touch with was like the likes of Huge Tunes in the UK, and these guys started ringing me up, and I was going, what's going on? This is strange, like, what's going on here, you know? But I think it took us about a year to make this, well, to release the second tune, because we did feel under a bit of pressure, because we didn't expect, you know, El Nino was really made for us as a sort of a warm-up tune as Agnelli Nelson. It was our first tune, so it was a big surprise, but when we finished it, we knew we had something special there, you know. Not really. Like, I used to be into like soul music, and always liked soul music, and I never really had any role model DJs or producers, I suppose, because, you know, I've been doing it for a long time, and in those days it was completely different, and there wasn't even a trance scene then, really, you know. It was so I just really aspired to make good quality music, really, you know. Uplifting, party, and a bit of it's a mixture of prog and uplifting trance, I suppose. Yeah, well, it's completely changed in that, first of all, you used to make records and they were records. Now you make music and it's an MP3 or it's electronic or whatever. So therefore, from the point of view of money and stuff, a lot of the money has gone out of the scene as far as, like, you know, the progression of up and coming artists and stuff, and a lot of the record labels are not able to push money into the scene anymore, because my problem with the whole music scene at the minute is there's no control over who gets what or who does what, and if you make a new track, within days it can be all around the world, and you can have maybe spent 6 months making a track, and basically it's a waste of time to you, because when the track actually gets released, it's gone and the buzz is over on it. So I think that's been a big change, but also there's loads more different styles of music, and from when I first started DJing and until now, it's completely changed, and there's so many different categories, and I find it hard sometimes to keep up with it. Now, recently there's a new genre called Trice music, and I was going, what is this like? And it's obviously trance and house together, you know. And I would rather that when I started off, it was just dance music and it was one big family. But now I think there's a lot of different genres and splits that I think if it was all back together again, it would be a whole better it's sort of like a double-edged sword. Obviously, it is good for promotion, and it's a good way of getting your name out there and stuff. But then when things start to get a bit more serious, and you know you're doing this for a living or whatever, it's very bad because it's like I've tried to explain this in a way that if you were a shopkeeper, you wouldn't just open your door and on a Sunday afternoon and say, right, everyone come in and take all my sweets, they're free, because I want you to come back next week and buy them off me. Do you know what I mean? So if you're looking at it from that point of view, it's very bad. It's there is no control over the whole industry at all, and people are just getting away with murder, and it's like you can steal and rape and pillage whatever you want, and unless you sell so many copies, no one's going to bother you. But the guy who actually owns that music, he's suffering because of that, because it's every time that somebody steals a piece from that, it's being diluted and diluted and diluted even more. So I think for the whole music business to survive, it's never going to be like it was in the past, but for it to survive going forward, something radical is going to have to happen, and there's going to be some sort of control is going to have to be taken over where you can get your music from, because the way it is at the minute, it's too easy and it's too freely available, and I think it's going to be hard for them to police it, but I'm not really in favour of it, to be honest. I like the digital thing, but giving the music away free, no, I don't. The drum. Big bass drum. I've just sort of started doing stuff on my own as Robbie Nelson, and I've had a couple of singles out. I've got a new one out at the minute on John O'Callaghan's Subculture label, which is called Up in Smoke. I've got the follow-up single done to that, so that's going to be my next track. At the minute, I haven't really got the name sorted for it, so I'm going to be working on that. I've also got a couple of Agnelli Nelson tracks finished and signed to my record label, Extravaganza, who we've always been signed to. So it's just a matter of waiting on release dates for that, and then there will be a couple of new Agnelli Nelson singles coming out. But my main focus at the minute is my own Robbie Nelson tunes. So that's where I'm focusing on. I've just got to try and get as many tunes completed this year as I can, you know.